$500. That's what I spend on brunch. Those are the words that Vanessa Sterling says while laughing in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom. She's standing there in her Prada heels. Her Hermes Birkin bag sits on the table. Diamonds sparkle on every finger. She thinks this is funny. She has no idea what's about to happen. Her whole world is about to collapse. And if you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. Providence Municipal Court. Tuesday morning. The room is packed. The bailiff stands near the door. His uniform is pressed and clean. The American flag hangs behind the judge's bench. People sit quietly in the wooden seats. Some are nervous. Some are tired. All of them are waiting for their turn. The bailiff's voice cuts through the silence. Case 2026, TR 04721. The State versus Vanessa Sterling. The doors at the back open. In walks a woman who looks like she stepped out of a fashion magazine. Vanessa Sterling is 29 years old. Her hair is blonde and perfect. Not a single strand is out of place. She's wearing a cream-colored Chanel suit. The jacket probably costs $4,000. Her shoes are red-bottomed Louboutins. Click, click, click. That's the sound they make on the tile floor. Around her neck hangs a necklace with a pendant. The diamond in the center is the size of a grape. On her wrist sits a Cartier watch covered in tiny diamonds. Her nails are done, long and painted pale pink. Her makeup is flawless. She looks like someone who has never heard the word no. Behind her walks a man in a gray suit. He's her lawyer. He's carrying a leather briefcase. His face looks tired, like he already knows this is going to be difficult. Judge Frank Caprio sits at the bench. He's an older man with gray hair. His face shows wisdom and kindness. He's wearing his black robe. His glasses sit on his nose. He looks at Vanessa. Then he looks at the papers in front of him. "Good morning, Ms. Sterling," Judge Caprio says. His voice is calm, professional. "Please approach the bench." Vanessa walks forward, her heels clicking. She's holding her phone. Her thumb moves across the screen. She's texting someone. "Ms. Sterling," the judge says, "please put your phone away." Vanessa looks up. She smiles. It's not a friendly smile. It's the smile of someone who thinks rules don't apply to them. She slides the phone into her purse. But she does it slowly, like she's doing him a favor. Next to the prosecutor's table sits another woman. Her name is Rita Morales. She's 52 years old. Rita is a crossing guard at Lincoln Elementary School. She's been doing this job for 11 years. Every morning, she stands at the corner of Broad Street and Elm Avenue. She wears a bright orange vest. She holds a stop sign. She helps kids cross the street safely. Rain or shine, hot or cold, Rita is there. She makes $12 an hour. She works this job and another one at night cleaning offices. She does this because her husband died 3 years ago. Heart attack. Left her with medical bills that still aren't paid off. She has 2 kids in high school. She drives a 2009 Honda Civic with 180,000 miles on it. The bumper is held on with duct tape. Rita sits in the second row. Her hands are folded in her lap. She's wearing her best clothes. A blue dress from Walmart. It's 3 years old but clean. Her shoes are scuffed but polished. She looks nervous. Her eyes are red. She didn't sleep much last night. Judge Caprio looks at the file. "Ms. Sterling, you're here today regarding case number 2026, TR 04721. The initial complaint is for reckless driving in a school zone. Is that correct?" Vanessa shrugs. "I guess so. I don't really remember. My lawyer can explain it." The lawyer stands. "Your Honor, my client was cited for driving 47 miles per hour in a 20-mile-per-hour school zone. We're prepared to pay the fine and move on." People in the courtroom shift in their seats. Someone whispers to the person next to them. Judge Caprio nods slowly. "I see. And Ms. Sterling, do you understand why there's a speed limit in a school zone?" Vanessa laughs. It's a light, airy laugh. Like he just said something amusing. "Of course. There are kids. I get it. Look, I was late for a spa appointment. It won't happen again. Just tell me what the fine is and I'll write a check." She reaches into her purse. She pulls out a checkbook. It's leather-bound. Expensive looking. She clicks open a pen. A gold pen that probably costs more than Rita makes in a week. The judge looks at her. His expression doesn't change. "Ms. Sterling, this isn't just about a fine. This is about safety. About responsibility." Vanessa waves her hand. Right. Responsibility. I totally understand. So what is it? 300? 400? She looks at her lawyer. What's the usual fine for this kind of thing? Her lawyer shifts uncomfortably. Your Honor, if I may. Judge Caprio raises his hand. Let me ask you something, Miss Sterling. Do you know Mrs. Morales? Vanessa looks around the courtroom. Her eyes land on Rita. She stares for a second. Then she shrugs. Should I? Mrs. Morales is the crossing guard at Lincoln Elementary. She was working the morning of January 14th. That's the morning you were cited. Vanessa's face shows no recognition. Okay. And? Rita's hands tighten in her lap. A tear rolls down her cheek. And Mrs. Morales filed a complaint about your behavior that morning. Officer Davis also filed a report. Would you like to hear what they said? Vanessa rolls her eyes. She actually rolls her eyes in court. Several people gasp quietly. The bailiff's expression hardens. Sure, Vanessa says. Let's hear it. This should be good. Judge Caprio opens a folder. He pulls out several papers. According to Officer Davis, you were clocked at 47 miles per hour in a posted 20-mile-per-hour zone. This was at 7:52 a.m. during active school arrival time. Children were present. Mrs. Morales was in the crosswalk helping students cross the street. You came within 8 feet of the crosswalk while children were in it. You had to slam on your brakes. Your tires left skid marks. Do you remember this? Vanessa sighs. Look, I stopped, didn't I? No one got hurt. Can we just move this along? I have a lunch reservation at noon. Whispers spread through the courtroom like fire. A man in the back shakes his head. A woman covers her mouth with her hand. Judge Caprio continues. Officer Davis attempted to pull you over. You didn't stop for another 3 blocks. When you finally stopped, what did you say to him? Vanessa shrugs. I don't know. I was frustrated. I told him I was in a hurry. The judge looks at the paper. According to his report, you said, do you know who my husband is? This is ridiculous. I'll have your badge. Vanessa laughs again. Oh, come on. I was upset. People say things when they're upset. You also refused to sign the citation, Judge Caprio says. Because it was unfair, Vanessa shoots back. Her voice rises a little. I barely broke the speed limit. You were going 27 miles per hour over the limit. In a Range Rover that costs more than most people make in a year. That car is built for speed and safety. I was completely in control. The courtroom goes quiet. Even her lawyer looks uncomfortable. He touches her arm. Vanessa, he whispers. Please. She pulls her arm away. What? It's true. Judge Caprio sets down the paper. He looks at Vanessa directly. Ms. Sterling, let me make sure I understand. You believe that because you drive an expensive car, the speed limit doesn't apply to you. That's not what I said. Then what are you saying? Vanessa crosses her arms. I'm saying this is all blown out of proportion. So I was speeding a little. Big deal. Just give me the fine. $500. Fine. 1,000. Whatever. Let's just be done with this. Judge Caprio's expression remains neutral. But something changes in his eyes. I see. You think this is about money. Isn't everything? Vanessa says. She smiles again. That same cold smile. The judge looks at the prosecutor. Can you please bring forward the additional evidence we discussed? The prosecutor stands. She's a woman in her 30s wearing a dark blue suit. She picks up a laptop. She carries it to the judge's bench. Then she sets up a small screen on a stand. People in the courtroom lean forward to see. What's this? Vanessa asks. She uncrosses her arms. For the first time, she looks slightly concerned. This is body camera footage from Officer Davis. I'm going to play it now. The screen flickers to life. The video shows the dashboard of a police car. There's a date and time stamp in the corner. January 14th, 2026. 7:52 a.m. Through the windshield, you can see a school zone sign. Kids are walking on the sidewalk. Some are with parents. Some are alone. Rita Morales stands in the crosswalk. Her orange vest is bright against the gray morning. She's holding up her stop sign. 3 children are crossing the street. They're maybe 8 or 9 years old. One is carrying a backpack covered in superhero stickers. Then a white Range Rover comes into frame. It's going fast. Too fast. The brake lights flash. The car skids. The tires screech. You can hear it clearly in the video. The children freeze. One of them jumps back. Rita throws out her arm to protect them. Her face shows terror. The Range Rover stops just feet from a crosswalk. The children run to the other side. One is crying. The courtroom is completely silent. Several people have tears in their eyes. Rita is crying openly now. She covers her face with her hands. The video continues. The Range Rover sits there for a moment. Then it drives off. The police car's lights turn on. The siren wails. The officer follows. It takes 3 blocks before the Range Rover pulls over. The officer gets out. He walks to the driver's side window. The window rolls down. There sits Vanessa. Her sunglasses are huge. Oversized Dior shades. She's holding a coffee cup. Starbucks. License and registration, please, the officer says. His voice is professional but firm. Are you serious right now? That's Vanessa's voice. Clear as day. Ma'am, you were going 47 in a 20. School zone. Children present. License and registration. Do you know who my husband is? That's not relevant. License and registration. My husband is Preston Sterling. Preston Sterling. He owns Sterling Development. They built half this city. One phone call and you'll be directing traffic in a parking lot. The officer's voice stays calm. Ma'am, threatening an officer is a separate offense. I'm going to need your license and registration now. Vanessa throws her license at him. It hits his chest and falls to the ground. There. Happy? This is harassment. I'm calling my lawyer. The video continues. It shows the officer picking up the license, writing the ticket, asking Vanessa to sign. She refuses. She calls him several names, words that make people in the courtroom gasp. Finally, the officer tells her she can contest the ticket in court. He gives her the citation. She crumples it up and throws it on the ground. Then she drives away. The screen goes black. No one moves. The courtroom is frozen. Even Vanessa's lawyer looks pale. Judge Caprio removes his glasses. He cleans them slowly with a cloth. Then he puts them back on. Ms. Sterling, do you remember this now? Vanessa's face is flushed. He made me angry. He was rude. He was doing his job. He was on a power trip. Judge Caprio's voice gets quieter. When he speaks quietly, it's somehow more powerful than when he yells. Ms. Sterling, those children you almost hit. Do you know their names? Vanessa doesn't answer. Their names are Emma Rodriguez, age 7, Michael Chun, age 8, and Sophia Hassan, age 9. Sophia is the one you saw crying in the video. Do you know why she was crying? Still no answer. She was crying because 2 years ago, her older brother was hit by a car in a school zone. The driver was speeding, going 45 in a 25. Her brother spent 3 weeks in the hospital. He has permanent brain damage. He's 11 years old, and he'll never be the same. And Sophia had to watch you almost do the same thing to her and her friends. A woman in the gallery starts crying. The man next to her puts his arm around her. That's Sophia's mother. Vanessa's mouth opens, then closes. She has no words. Judge Caprio continues. And Mrs. Morales, the woman you don't remember. She's here today. Rita, can you please stand? Rita stands slowly. Her legs shake. She wipes her eyes. Mrs. Morales has been a crossing guard for 11 years. She keeps children safe every single day. She makes $12 an hour. After her husband died, she took a second job to support her family. She works 14-hour days. And on the morning of January 14th, she watched you nearly kill 3 children. She hasn't slept well since. She has nightmares about what could have happened. But you don't remember her. Rita sits back down. She's trembling. Vanessa looks at the floor. It was an accident. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to speed? You didn't mean to ignore a school zone? You didn't mean to threaten an officer? I was having a bad day. A bad day. Judge Caprio repeats the words slowly. Mrs. Morales has bad days too. Days when her bills are due and she doesn't have enough money. Days when her kids need new shoes and she can't afford them. Days when her car breaks down and she has to take 2 buses to work. But she doesn't speed through school zones. She doesn't threaten people. She doesn't act like the rules don't apply to her. Vanessa's lawyer stands. Your Honor, my client understands the seriousness. Sit down, counselor. I'm not finished. The lawyer sits. Judge Caprio opens another folder. This one is thicker. Ms. Sterling, you came here today expecting a simple traffic fine. You brought your checkbook. You're ready to pay and leave. Is that right? Vanessa nods slowly. Well, I have some news for you. This isn't just a traffic case anymore. Vanessa's head snaps up. What? After reviewing Officer Davis's report, the footage, and multiple witness statements, the prosecutor's office has filed additional charges. Would you like to know what they are? Vanessa's face goes pale. All the color drains from her cheeks. Her expensive makeup suddenly looks like a mask. Additional charges? What are you talking about? The judge reads from the paper. Reckless endangerment of a minor. 3 counts. 1 for each child in that crosswalk. Threatening a police officer. Failure to obey a lawful order. Attempted intimidation of a public official. And based on phone records we subpoenaed, attempting to interfere with an investigation. Interfering? I didn't. On January 14th, at 9:15 a.m., you called your husband. Your husband then called the police chief. At 9:47 a.m., your husband called the mayor's office. At 10:12 a.m., someone from Sterling Development called Officer Davis's supervisor. All of these calls happened within 3 hours of your citation. All of them asked for the citation to be dismissed. All of them mentioned your husband's donations to the city. All of them mentioned business relationships, contracts, deals. Do you deny making that first phone call? Vanessa's mouth opens and closes like a fish. I just told Preston what happened. What he did after that. What he did was at your request. The phone records show your text to him at 9:13 a.m. Quote, some cop gave me a ticket. Make it go away. Use whatever connections you need. End quote. Someone in the gallery whistles softly. The bailiff glares and the room goes silent again. Vanessa grabs the edge of the table. Her knuckles turn white. This is insane. You're blowing this way, out of proportion. Am I? Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. You nearly killed 3 children. You threatened an officer. You attempted to use money and influence to escape consequences. And when you walked into this courtroom, you laughed. You laughed and asked how much the fine would be. You treated this like a parking ticket, like an inconvenience, like something you could just throw money at and make disappear. Because that's what it is. Vanessa's voice rises. She's getting angry now. Defensive. It's a traffic violation. People speed every day. Why am I being singled out? You're being singled out. Judge Caprio's voice rises slightly. Just slightly. But it cuts through the room like a knife. Mrs. Morales comes to court today for expired registration. She couldn't afford to renew it on time. Her fine would have been $85. That's 3 days of work for her. But you think you're being singled out. That's not my fault she's poor. The room explodes. Someone in the back shouts. Multiple people gasp. A man stands up, his fists clenched. The bailiff moves forward quickly. Order. Everyone sit down and be quiet. It takes a minute for the room to settle. But the damage is done. Those words hang in the air like poison. That's not my fault she's poor. Judge Caprio stares at Vanessa. For 10 full seconds he just stares. His face shows disappointment, sadness, and something else. Determination. Ms. Sterling, he finally says, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this might be the most important lesson you ever learn. Vanessa swallows hard. She looks at her lawyer. He's writing notes, but he won't make eye contact with her. You said it's not your fault that Mrs. Morales is poor. You're right. Her financial situation is not your fault. But you know what is your fault? Your choice to speed through a school zone. Your choice to put children's lives at risk. Your choice to threaten an officer. Your choice to use your wealth and your husband's connections to try to escape consequences. Those choices are yours and yours alone. The judge stands. He's not tall, but right now he seems to tower over the courtroom. You walk around this world thinking that money makes you special. That wealth means the rules don't apply. That you can do what you want and just write a check to fix it. But let me tell you something about money, Ms. Sterling. Money is just paper. Just numbers in a bank account. It doesn't make you better than anyone. It doesn't make you smarter. It doesn't make you more deserving of safety or justice or respect. It just means you have more resources. And with more resources comes more responsibility. Not less. More. Vanessa's eyes fill with tears. But they're angry tears. Tears of frustration and humiliation. Mrs. Morales doesn't have much money. But you know what she has? Dignity. Honor. She shows up every day to a job that doesn't pay much because she cares about those children. She protects them. She keeps them safe. And when she saw you almost hit them, she didn't think about money. She thought about their lives, their safety, their families. That's what real wealth looks like. Not the diamonds on your fingers. Not the designer clothes. Not the car that costs more than most people make in 5 years. Real wealth is measured in how you treat others, in what you contribute to the world, in the lives you touch and improve. The judge pauses. He takes a breath. You came here expecting to pay $500 and walk out. You were laughing about it. You thought this was a joke. Well, Ms. Sterling, I'm about to show you that justice isn't for sale in my courtroom. Not for $500. Not for $5,000. Not for $5 million. Here, everyone is equal. Here, your money means nothing. Here, you answer for your actions just like anyone else. Vanessa's lawyer stands again. Your Honor, may I please speak with my client? You may not. Sit down. The lawyer sits. Judge Caprio picks up his gavel. Vanessa Marie Sterling, you have been charged with multiple offenses. The evidence against you is clear and overwhelming. The body camera footage shows your reckless driving. The testimony of Mrs. Morales and 3 other witnesses confirms the danger you posed. The phone records show your attempts to interfere with justice. And your behavior in this courtroom today shows a complete lack of remorse or understanding. Do you have anything to say before I pass sentence? Vanessa's voice is small now. Quiet. Your Honor, I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. You didn't mean to speed. No, You didn't mean to threaten Officer Davis. I was just upset. You didn't mean to laugh about it today. Vanessa doesn't answer. There is no answer. Judge Caprio nods slowly. I'm going to give you a chance to understand what responsibility really means. I'm going to give you a chance to see the world through different eyes. I'm going to give you a chance to become the person you should have been all along. But make no mistake. What I'm about to do isn't a favor. It's not mercy. It's justice. He looks down at his notes. Then he begins. Vanessa Sterling, on the charge of reckless driving in a school zone, I find you guilty. The fine is $2,500. Vanessa barely reacts. That amount means nothing to her. Her purse costs more than that. On 3 counts of reckless endangerment of a minor, I find you guilty. That's an additional $7,500. $2,500 per count. Vanessa shifts her weight. She's uncomfortable but not worried. Not yet. On the charge of threatening a police officer, I find you guilty. That's another $3,000. The numbers are adding up. Vanessa pulls out her checkbook again. She's ready to write. Get this over with. On the charge of attempting to interfere with an investigation through improper use of influence, I find you guilty. That's $5,000. Total so far, $18,000. Vanessa starts writing. Her pen moves across the check. Put the pen down, Ms. Sterling. I'm not finished. She looks up. Confusion crosses her face. Your driver's license is suspended for 1 year. Effective immediately. 1 year. Vanessa's voice cracks. How am I supposed to get anywhere? The same way Mrs. Morales does. Bus. Uber. Friends. Walking. You'll figure it out. Vanessa's hand shakes. She grips the table harder. But that's just the beginning. You're going to perform 200 hours of community service. And not just any community service. You're going to be a crossing guard. The courtroom erupts. People start talking all at once. Someone claps. Someone else cheers. The bailiff calls for order, but he's smiling. Even he thinks this is perfect. Vanessa's face goes white. A crossing guard? You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. Every morning, Monday through Friday for the next 6 months, you will report to Lincoln Elementary School at 7:30 a.m. You will wear the same orange vest Mrs. Morales wears. You will hold the same stop sign. And you will help children cross the street safely. The same street you almost killed 3 children on. This is humiliating. No, Ms. Sterling. Humiliating would be what could have happened to those children. Humiliating would be explaining to their parents why they're not coming home. Humiliating would be living the rest of your life knowing you killed someone because you couldn't be bothered to slow down. This is education. This is accountability. Vanessa turns to her lawyer. Do something. The lawyer shakes his head. Your Honor's ruling is within his authority. Judge Caprio continues. You will report to Mrs. Morales every morning. She will be your supervisor. She will sign off on your hours. And you will do exactly what she tells you to do. If you're late, the hours don't count. If you don't show up, you'll be held in contempt. If you're disrespectful, I'll add more hours. Am I making myself clear? Vanessa's lips tremble. This is cruel and unusual punishment. No. Cruel would be letting you walk out of here thinking your money solved everything. Unusual would be treating you differently than anyone else. What I'm doing is giving you the exact punishment your actions deserve. You endangered children. Now you'll spend 6 months protecting them. You disrespected someone doing an important job. Now you'll do that job yourself. You thought you were above the law. Now you'll learn that no one is. The judge isn't done. Additionally, you will write a handwritten apology letter to each of the 3 children you endangered. Not typed. Handwritten. A minimum of 500 words each. You will explain what you did wrong, why it was wrong, and what you've learned. These letters will be reviewed by me personally. If they're not genuine, if they're written by your lawyer, if they show any hint of the attitude you've displayed today, I'll reject them, and you'll write them again. Vanessa is crying now. Real tears. Her makeup is running. Black mascara streaks down her face. You will also write a 2,000-word essay on the importance of school zones and traffic safety. This essay will be published in the Providence Journal. Your name will be on it. Everyone will read about what you did and what you learned. This isn't negotiable. Please, Vanessa whispers. Please don't make me do this. You should have thought about that before you sped through a school zone. Before you threaten an officer. Before you try to use money and power to escape responsibility. You made your choices. Now you live with the consequences. Judge Caprio looks at his notes again. Furthermore, you are required to attend a victim impact panel. That's a program where people who have been affected by reckless driving share their stories. You'll hear from parents who lost children, from people who were permanently injured, from families whose lives were destroyed by someone who thought they were above the rules. You'll sit there and you'll listen. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start to understand what you almost did. Vanessa's whole body shakes. She can barely stand. Her lawyer touches her elbow to steady her. You're also ordered to complete an 8-week course on anger management and conflict resolution. Because your behavior toward Officer Davis and in this courtroom shows that you don't know how to handle situations where you don't get your way. The judge sets down his papers. He looks directly at Vanessa. And finally, because you attempted to use your husband's influence to interfere with justice, I'm ordering that every attempt at contact regarding this case be documented and made public. If anyone calls on your behalf, if anyone tries to pressure the court or the police department, if anyone offers a donation or a deal in exchange for leniency, it will be reported, published, made available to every news outlet in the state. Your money and your connections won't help you here. They'll only make things worse. Vanessa collapses into her chair. She's sobbing now. Loud, gasping sobs. Her perfect hair falls in her face. Her expensive clothes suddenly look like a costume. All the wealth and beauty and privilege mean nothing right now. She's just a person who made terrible choices and now has to face them. Your Honor, her lawyer tries one more time. This sentence is excessive. My client has no prior record. She's willing to pay the fines. Surely we can come to some. No. Judge Caprio's voice is final. Absolute. Your client had every advantage in life. Money, education, resources. And she used those advantages to break the law and then try to escape punishment. She showed no remorse until she realized there would be real consequences. She laughed about a fine that would devastate most families. She said it wasn't her fault that Mrs. Morales is poor. She treated an officer with contempt. She endangered children and didn't care. No, counselor. There will be no deal. No negotiation. No reduction. The sentence stands. Vanessa looks up. Her face is a mess. Makeup everywhere. Eyes red and swollen. I can't do this. I can't be a crossing guard. Everyone will see me. Everyone will know. Good. Judge Caprio says simply. Let them see. Let them know. Let them understand that actions have consequences. That justice applies to everyone. That being rich doesn't make you untouchable. He picks up his gavel. This court is in recess for 15 minutes. Bailiff, please take Miss Sterling into custody. Into custody. Vanessa jumps up. What? Why? You're being held in contempt of court for your behavior during these proceedings. Your disrespect toward Mrs. Morales. Your attitude toward the court. Your laughter when this began. You'll spend 48 hours in county jail. That starts now. The bailiff approaches. He's holding handcuffs. Vanessa backs away. No. No, no, no. You can't do this. I have rights. I'll call my lawyer. I'll. Your lawyer is right here, and he can't help you. Hold out your hands. Vanessa looks around wildly, looking for someone to save her. Her lawyer won't meet her eyes. The people in the gallery watch silently. Rita Morales has stopped crying. She's just watching. No satisfaction on her face. No joy. Just quiet observation. The bailiff gently but firmly takes Vanessa's wrist. He puts one handcuff on, then the other. Click, click. The sound echoes through the silent courtroom. Vanessa's Cartier watch presses against the metal cuff. Her diamond rings catch the light. But none of it matters now. The handcuffs don't care how much her jewelry costs. Please, she whispers. Please don't do this. Judge Caprio's expression softens slightly. Just slightly. Ms. Sterling, 2 days from now, you'll be released. Then you'll start your community service. You'll show up every morning at Lincoln Elementary. You'll wear the vest. You'll protect the children. And maybe by the end of 6 months, you'll understand what it means to serve others. To think of someone besides yourself. To be part of a community instead of above it. That's my hope for you. Not punishment for punishment's sake. But real change. Real growth. Real understanding. Vanessa doesn't respond. She can't. The bailiff leads her toward the side door. Her heels click on the floor. But it's a different sound now. Not confident. Not powerful. Just sad and small. As she reaches the door, she looks back at Rita. Their eyes meet. Rita's face shows no anger. No hatred. Just sadness. Sadness for what could have been. For the lesson that had to be learned this way. Then Vanessa is gone. The door closes behind her. The courtroom stays quiet for a long moment. Then Judge Caprio speaks. Mrs. Morales, please approach. Rita stands slowly. She walks to the bench. Her legs still shake a little. Mrs. Morales, your case regarding expired registration. I'm dismissing it with a warning. I understand your financial situation. I understand why you couldn't renew on time. The court will work with you to get your registration current. No fine. No penalty. Just get it done in the next 30 days. Can you do that? Rita's eyes fill with fresh tears. But these are different tears. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your service to this community. Thank you for keeping our children safe every day. Thank you for being an example of what real honor looks like. Rita nods. She can't speak. She just nods and cries and nods some more. You're dismissed. And Mrs. Morales. Yes, Your Honor. When Ms. Sterling reports for duty as a crossing guard, I want you to treat her fairly. Not kindly. Not harshly. Fairly. Teach her what the job really means. Show her what you do and why it matters. Can you do that? Rita straightens up. She wipes her eyes. Yes, Your Honor. I can do that. Good. This court is adjourned. The gavel comes down. Bang. The sound of justice. 8 weeks later. The sun is just coming up over Providence. It's a chilly March morning. The kind where you can see your breath. At the corner of Broad Street and Elm Avenue, someone stands in an orange vest. She's holding a stop sign. Her breath comes out in little white clouds. It's Vanessa Sterling, but she looks different. Her hair is pulled back in a simple ponytail. No fancy styling, just pulled back and tied with a rubber band. She's wearing jeans. Regular jeans from Target. A warm jacket from Walmart. The orange vest over it all. Regular sneakers. Not Louboutins. Just plain white sneakers that cost $30. No diamonds on her fingers. No fancy watch. No designer purse. Just the vest and the sign and the job. A car approaches. A blue Honda. It slows down. The driver waves. Vanessa waves back. She steps into the street. Holds up the stop sign. 3 children cross. They're laughing about something. One of them looks up at Vanessa and smiles. Thanks, Miss Vanessa. You're welcome. Be safe. The children reach the other side. Vanessa steps back to the curb. The car drives past. She checks her watch. A regular Timex. Not a Cartier. 7:55 a.m. 5 more minutes until the bell rings. Rita Morales walks over. She's been supervising from across the street, making sure everything is done right. She stops next to Vanessa. They stand together in the cold morning air. That was good, Rita says. You're getting better at reading the traffic. Thank you, Vanessa says quietly. I'm trying. They stand in silence for a moment. Then Vanessa speaks again. Mrs. Morales, can I ask you something? Sure. Why did you agree to supervise me? After everything I said, everything I did, you could have said no. The judge would have assigned someone else. Rita thinks about this. She watches the cars go by. She watches the last few kids hurrying toward school. Then she answers. Because everyone deserves a chance to learn, to change, to become better. I didn't agree to supervise you because I forgave you. I'm still working on that. I agreed because I believe people can grow. And because those children deserve to see that even adults can learn from their mistakes. Vanessa nods slowly. I never said I was sorry. Not really. Not the way I should have. No, you didn't. I'm sorry, Mrs. Morales. I'm sorry for speeding. For endangering those kids. For threatening the officer. For saying those terrible things in court. For everything. I know saying sorry doesn't fix it. But I need you to know that I am. I'm so sorry. Rita looks at her. Really looks at her. The expensive clothes are gone. The attitude is gone. What's left is just a person. A person who made mistakes and is trying to do better. I believe you, Rita says finally. And I accept your apology. But you know what matters more than saying sorry? What? Showing up. Every day. Even when it's cold. Even when it's hard. Even when you're tired. You show up and you do the work. That's what matters. That's what shows you've really changed. Vanessa nods. I'll keep showing up. The school bell rings. The last child runs through the doors. The street is quiet now. The morning rush is over. Same time tomorrow. Rita asks. Same time tomorrow, Vanessa confirms. Rita walks toward her car. Vanessa stays for a moment. She looks at the street. The crosswalk. The school. 8 weeks ago, she almost killed 3 children here. Now she protects them here. It's the strangest feeling. Humiliating and humbling, and somehow meaningful all at once. She thinks about the past 8 weeks. The 48 hours in county jail. Sleeping on a thin mattress. Eating food from plastic trays. Sharing a cell with women who had real problems. Real struggles. It was the first time in her life she couldn't call someone to fix things. Couldn't use money to make it better. She just had to sit there and think about what she'd done. Then the community service started. The first morning was the hardest. Walking up to Lincoln Elementary, in her vest. Seeing the parents. Some of them recognized her. The story had been in the papers. Trophy wife laughs at fine, gets reality check, the headline said. People stared. Some whispered. One mother asked if she was the woman from the news. Vanessa wanted to run. To hide. To quit. But she didn't. She stayed. She held the sign. She helped the children cross. Day by day it got easier. Not because people stopped recognizing her, but because the work became real. She learned the kids' names. Emma Rodriguez. Michael Chun. Sophia Hassan. The 3 she almost hit. At first, they were scared of her. But slowly they warmed up. Emma started waving every morning. Michael told her about his soccer game. Sophia drew her a picture. She attended the victim impact panel. Sat in a room with 30 other people. Listened to a father talk about his daughter who was killed by a drunk driver. Listened to a woman who was paralyzed by someone texting while driving. Listened to story after story of lives destroyed by people who thought they were above the rules or just weren't paying attention. She cried through most of it. Real tears. Not tears of self-pity. Tears of understanding. Of horror at what she almost caused. The anger management classes taught her things about herself she didn't want to know. That she used money as a weapon. That she treated people as obstacles instead of human beings. That she never learned to handle being told no. It was painful, embarrassing, but necessary. And the essay. She rewrote it 4 times before Judge Caprio approved it. The first 3 were too defensive. Too focused on her side of the story. The 4th one was honest. Raw. It talked about her privilege. Her blindness. Her mistakes. When it was published, she couldn't look at social media for days. The comments were brutal. But some people said they were glad she was learning. Glad the justice system worked. Glad she didn't get away with it. Her husband Preston was angry at first. Embarrassed. His business partners made jokes. His golf buddies asked questions. But slowly he started to understand. He went to one of her crossing guard shifts. Watched her from his car. Saw her helping children. Protecting them. Smiling at them. He said she looked different. Not worse. Just different. More real somehow. Vanessa picks up the stop sign. She folds it and tucks it under her arm. She walks to her car. Not the Range Rover. That was sold. The insurance alone was more than Rita makes in 3 months. She drives a used Toyota now. A 2018 Corolla with 60,000 miles. It's not fancy, but it runs. And that's enough. As she opens the car door, she sees someone approaching. It's Sophia Hassan, the little girl who cried that day. She's running from the school. Her mom is behind her, calling her name. Vanessa freezes. Her heart pounds. What does Sophia want? The girl runs up. She's holding something. A piece of paper. She hands it to Vanessa. I made this for you. It's a drawing. Crayon on construction paper. It shows a person in an orange vest holding a stop sign. Around her are children crossing the street safely. At the top, in careful letters, it says, "Thank you, Miss Vanessa." Vanessa's throat tightens. She kneels down to Sophia's level. You made this for me. Sophia nods. My mom said you're learning to be better. She said everyone deserves a chance to be better. So I wanted to say thank you for keeping us safe now. Tears sting Vanessa's eyes. She blinks them back. Thank you, Sophia. This means more to me than you know. I'm sorry for scaring you that day. It's okay. You're helping now. That's what matters. Sophia's mom reaches them. She puts her hand on her daughter's shoulder. She looks at Vanessa. There's no anger in her eyes. Just assessment. Judging whether this change is real. Thank you for your service, the mom says carefully. For showing Sophia that people can learn from their mistakes. I'm trying, Vanessa says. I really am. The mom nods. Then she and Sophia walk back toward school. Vanessa watches them go. She looks down at the drawing in her hands. A simple crayon picture. Worth more than any Birkin bag. More than any diamond necklace. More than anything money can buy. She gets in her car. She puts the drawing carefully in the passenger seat. Then she drives to her next obligation. Therapy. Court-ordered. But she's starting to see why she needs it. 6 months after the initial court date. Providence Municipal Court. The same courtroom. The same wooden benches. The same American flag. But this time, the atmosphere is different. Vanessa Sterling stands before Judge Caprio again. But she looks completely different from that first day. Simple black pants. A white blouse. Modest jewelry. A single small necklace. Her hair is down, but not styled to perfection. Her makeup is light and natural. She stands straight, but not arrogant. Nervous, but not defiant. Next to her is her lawyer. Behind her in the gallery sits Rita Morales. And Sophia's mother. And several other parents from Lincoln Elementary. Officer Davis is there too. In uniform. Watching quietly. On the table in front of Judge Caprio are several thick folders. Documentation. Photos. Letters. Reports. The judge opens the first folder. He reads for a moment. Then he looks at Vanessa. Ms. Sterling, you're here for your review hearing. To determine if you've completed the terms of your sentence and whether probation should be ended. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor, Vanessa says. Her voice is steady but humble. I've received your community service logs. 200 hours. All completed. All signed off by Mrs. Morales. 52 signatures. 1 for each week. Never late. Never missed. Is this accurate? Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Morales, please stand. Rita stands. How did Ms. Sterling perform during her community service? Rita takes a breath. At first, Your Honor, she was clearly uncomfortable. Embarrassed. But she showed up. Every single day. Rain or shine. Cold or hot. She was on time. She followed instructions. And after a few weeks, something changed. She stopped doing it because she had to. She started doing it because she cared. She learned the children's names. She talked to them. She protected them. By the end, she was a Rayall crossing guard. Not just someone serving time. Judge Caprio nods. Thank you, Mrs. Morales. You may sit. He opens another folder. I've read your essay. The one published in the Providence Journal. It was honest. Painful, I imagine, to write, but honest. I've also received over 200 letters from readers. Some angry. Some supportive. Many saying they were moved by your words. That they saw themselves in your mistakes. That they would think twice before speeding in a school zone. Vanessa nods. I meant every word, Your Honor. Writing it was hard. Seeing the comments was harder. But it needed to be said. I've also read your 3 apology letters to Emma, Michael, and Sophia. Handwritten as required. I showed them to the children's parents. They were satisfied. Sophia's mother is here today. I believe she has something to share. Sophia's mother stands. She's holding a paper. Your Honor, my family discussed whether to support Ms. Sterling today. My daughter Sophia wanted to speak, but she's in school, so she asked me to read this. She unfolds the paper. Dear Judge Caprio, my name is Sophia Hassan. I am 9 years old. When I was 7, my brother was hurt by a car. It was very scary. When I was 8, Miss Vanessa almost hit me and my friends. I had nightmares for weeks. But now Miss Vanessa is our crossing guard. She keeps us safe every day. She smiles at us. She asks about our homework. She waits until we're all the way across before she lets cars go. She's different now. I think she learned her lesson. I think she should get another chance. Thank you, Sophia. The courtroom is silent. Several people are wiping their eyes. Judge Caprio's expression softens. Thank you, he says. Please sit. He opens the last folder. Officer Davis, you submitted a report as well. What's your assessment? Officer Davis stands. Your Honor, I was angry after the incident. Ms. Sterling was rude, threatening, entitled. I didn't think anything would change her. But I've driven past Lincoln Elementary several times during my patrol. I've watched her working. I've seen her interact with the kids. I've seen parents thank her. She's not the same person I pulled over 6 months ago. She's learned something. Whether it's enough, that's for you to decide. But she's learned something. Thank you, officer. Judge Caprio closes the folders. He removes his glasses. He looks at Vanessa for a long moment. Ms. Sterling, 6 months ago, you stood in this courtroom and laughed. You thought justice was something you could buy. You treated people with contempt. You endangered children and didn't care. You were, frankly, everything that's wrong with a system that treats wealth as virtue and poverty as failure. Vanessa stands still. She doesn't look away. She writes about privilege, about how money can blind you to other people's struggles, about how wealth can make you think you're special when you're just lucky, about how easy it is to forget that everyone deserves respect, everyone deserves safety, everyone deserves justice. She writes about Rita Morales, about dignity in the face of hardship, about showing up every day to a job that doesn't pay well but matters deeply, about grace, about forgiveness, about teaching someone who didn't deserve to be taught. She writes about Judge Caprio, about a judge who saw past her money to her choices, who didn't accept checks in place of change, who understood that real justice requires accountability, not just fines, not just time, but transformation. And she writes about herself, about the person she was and the person she's becoming, about how change is uncomfortable and embarrassing and necessary, about how the hardest lessons are often the most important, about how privilege is a responsibility, not a right. She finishes the essay. She reads it over. She makes a few edits. Then she saves it. She'll submit it tomorrow. It will probably be published. People will probably have opinions. Some will say she's trying to rebuild her reputation. Some will say she's genuinely changed. Both might be true. She closes her laptop. She walks to the window. The street outside is quiet. Dark. Providence sleeps. But somewhere in the city, Rita Morales is probably going to bed, tired from a long day of work, preparing to wake up early tomorrow to keep children safe. Somewhere in the city, Sophia Hassan is sleeping, dreaming of being 11, of growing up, of crossing streets safely because people like Rita and, yes, now Vanessa, are there to protect her. Somewhere in the city, Emma and Michael are sleeping too, living their lives, going to school, playing with friends, alive because Vanessa stopped in time, because the system worked, because justice was served. And somewhere in the city, Judge Frank Caprio is probably sleeping too, retired now, resting after decades of trying to balance justice with mercy, of punishing when necessary and teaching when possible, of seeing people at their worst and believing they could become better. The courtroom is empty tonight, dark and quiet, but tomorrow it will fill again, with people who made mistakes, with people who broke laws, with people who need justice, and hopefully with judges who understand that justice isn't just about punishment. It's about making things right, about protecting the vulnerable, about teaching responsibility, about giving second chances to those who earn them. And maybe, just maybe, someone will walk into that courtroom thinking their money makes them special, thinking they can laugh at fines, thinking they're above the rules. And maybe they'll learn, like Vanessa Sterling learned, that in the halls of justice, everyone is equal. Everyone is accountable. And everyone, if they're willing to do the work, can change. The lesson is simple. The execution is hard. But it's this. Money can buy comfort. It can buy luxury. It can buy convenience and beauty and pleasure. But it cannot buy character. It cannot buy dignity. It cannot buy respect. And it cannot buy justice. Justice isn't a transaction. It's not something you purchase at a counter and take home. It's something you face. Something you experience. Something you earn through accountability and change. Privilege is not shield. It's a responsibility. Those who have more have an obligation to do better. To be better. To use their resources to help, not harm. To lift others up, not push them down. To recognize that luck and birth circumstances gave them advantages, not superiority. And perhaps most importantly, everyone deserves a second chance. But second chances must be earned. Through work. Through service. Through genuine remorse and meaningful change. You can't buy a second chance. You have to build it. Day by day. Choice by choice. Action by action. Vanessa Sterling walked into court 6 months ago as a woman who had everything except character. She walked out months later as a woman who was beginning to understand what really matters. Not the price of her purse. Not the size of her diamonds. But the impact of her choices. The lives she touches. The person she becomes through her actions. That transformation didn't happen because she paid a fine. It happened because she was forced to face the consequences of her choices. To stand in the shoes of the people she endangered. To serve the community she harmed. To look at herself honestly and not like what she saw. And then to do the hard work of becoming better. Judge Frank Caprio understood something important. Punishment without purpose is just revenge. Justice requires more. It requires teaching, growth, accountability, transformation. It requires believing that people can change while also holding them responsible for their actions. It requires balancing consequences with opportunity. And it requires treating everyone equally. The rich and the poor. The powerful and the powerless. The crossing guard making $12 an hour and the trophy wife driving a car that costs more than a house. In the courtroom, those differences disappear. There's just right and wrong. Just actions and consequences. Just justice. That's what Vanessa learned. That's what Rita taught her. That's what Judge Caprio enforced. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot erase mistakes. It cannot purchase respect. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Everyone is equal under the law. Everyone is accountable for their choices. Everyone can change if they're willing to do the work. And everyone, no matter how much money they have, must face the consequences of endangering others. That's not cruelty. That's not excessive. That's not unfair. That's justice. And justice, real justice, is priceless.